to what is spectacularly the preview of the last race of the 2021 World Championship. Formula One cars go broom broom round the circuits, left and right. Okay, I think that's a pretty good intro. Hello there, Kevin. Thank you so much for stopping by, sir. Really appreciate you being here. We are just going to talk about the last race before it happens, because obviously it's crunch time, and we haven't had a championship this close between the two protagonists, Sir Lewis Hamilton and the Max genius of Maximum Verstappen, who are equal on points going into the last race, with a slight advantage to Verstappen as he has more wins. Gentlemen, this is possibly the greatest ever season of Formula One ever in all time. How would you respond? I've got with me Fabio, of course. Fantastic Fabio, since no one's actually answering the question. I'll just ramble some more. No, Peter, please. I've started another introduction. I'm ranting. So
Fabio summed it up well, I think.
Is here, and Perfect Peter have joined me both to make insightful comments on the lead up to this, what is potentially the greatest race in F1 history. Gentlemen, welcome.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Thanks. Thanks for the upbeat. You can tell who carries the show, don't you?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I'm still trying to figure out. Okay, yeah, I'm waiting. I mean, yeah, okay, cool. Last race. Yeah.
Last race.
Both.
Greatest season of all
points.
time. That was the question. Greatest season of all time. Greatest race of all time.
I don't know about that, but yeah, I mean, it's an interesting race. It's gonna be, yeah. Of course, two drivers getting at the last race with equal points. Yeah, it's an Hollywood movie. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Quite literally. If Netflix is owned by someone in Hollywood, literally, it's a Hollywood movie.
Yeah. People were asking how Netflix is going to get this season in just a few episodes. It's not going to be possible, but we'll have to wait and see.
No, there'll be a film coming out about this. I can assure you. I can assure you. They'll call it Grand Prix 2021 or something like that.
But
homage.
Bubblefist is also here. He says rooting for Verstappen. You shouldn't say that when we still have an Aussie in the race, because rooting in Australia means something entirely different. Bubblefist.
Yeah, it's probably spelled differently as well. But...
No, it's spelled the same.
No, it is in fact spelled the same, is it? Okay, well, good luck for Verstappen. If I could say it any more Dutch, I would. Verstappen.
Yeah, so Max has a slight advantage coming in the last race. Of course, they're both equal on points, but he has an advantage of number of races won, even if Lewis wins the last race. So basically, all the possible combination for the title in Abu Dhabi is, obviously, the first one which gets ahead of the other one in the point wins the championship. If both of them retire, the title goes to Hamilton. If he scores points, of course, the title goes back again to Verstappen if they both retire, and the title goes to Verstappen if they both do not get in the points. There is also another hypothesis. I mean, we're just grasping at straws here.
Possible combination, shall we call it?
Yeah. So if one of the drivers gets 9th and the other one gets
Verstappen.
No, it's
one gets 9th. Yeah.
If one gets in 9th position and the other one gets in 10th position, but with the fastest lap, then again the title goes to Verstappen. Those are all the possible combinations that the Grand Prix can finish. Of course, I don't think that we will get to that obscure combination. I think the most feasible outcome will be that either one of them wins the Grand Prix, and of course the other doesn't, or they both get the fuck out of the way. And
in that
those
case,
are the two possible outcomes.
In that case, we got a new scenario because Michael Masi has announced that there is a possibility that points get taken away if you take out another driver. So
yeah, I will have to see that happening. But anyway, I mean, Michael Masi had to write that stuff. I don't even think it's the first time that they write that stuff in the pre-briefing things, when things get hectic. But I mean, he had to do that, after the charade which happened last Grand Prix with all the souk.
I would agree.
Happened. Yeah, so
I would agree. He's covering the FIA for legal reasons, just to make sure that they all know that if this happens, then there can't be any legal comebacks just because they decide it in the stewards' room.
Yeah, remember to behave, guys. Don't be bad. Race is a race. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I mean, I like Max's. To be honest, I like Max's response. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And I'm paraphrasing there. I am paraphrasing. That isn't actually what he said. What he actually said was, I'm just concentrating on my race and I'm just going to try and win it.
Right.
Which is what he said all season, and all season long he's been doing this, running people off the road, so to speak, in inverted commas.
Yeah, I mean, okay, it's I guess it's a little bit complicated than that, but I understand the point. If you want to put in the short version, that's the way it is. I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, no, okay. Of course, Max has got also the psychological advantage, because of the fact that if they both retire and somebody, so he can do a stupid thing, which we saw some kind of stupid things that are allowed by the rules, like once I'm inside, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Basically, that I think is the actual name of the rule on the rule book. This is once you're inside, you do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah.
Yeah. Including driving off the track. It seems.
Oh yeah, it's
which
the
is what Max said.
rule.
Yeah, which is what Max said. Well, they didn't penalise it in Brazil, so
there you go.
I thought I could do it. Sure.
So and of course, I mean, Lewis will have to be way more careful in whatever the fuck he does, to.
I think to be honest, Lewis is being pretty careful all season, apart from Silverstone.
So, okay, so I'm not disagreeing that. What I'm saying is that I think that through all the season, Lewis, because of the fact that he's way more. He has a lot more experience and stuff like that. Every time he did something fishy, he just made it in a way that it seemed to be that he was, right, or he had or whatever, While when Max made something stupid, it was plain stupid. That's it.
Yeah,
but it's not the fact that Lewis never did anything stupid. It just put himself in the position, but you know what? So that goes back to what you were saying.
I think Silverstone was stupid. Let's just all agree that Silverstone was Lewis being stupid. No doubt about it. You didn't need to do that. And in fact, that's the reason that Max has been so adamant to take him out at every opportunity.
Oh yeah.
And I'm fully on board with that. Just got to read the comments as they come in today, gentlemen. So I'm going to be stopping you probably halfway through sentences and stuff. But if any of the contenders will be outed by the second driver of the opponents, the shitstorm will be endless.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Indeed, it certainly will. And it will cross over into next season as well, which will be hilarious.
Yeah. We will get a genuine Karen Horner account then.
We can scratch Bottas from that equation because I think Bottas doesn't give two flying fucks about it.
No.
So
no. Well,
I think
he could if he would probably qualify fifth and take out the first four.
oh yeah
You know what I mean?
yeah. It's not that he's going to aim for Verstappen on purpose. He might be aiming for anybody which is in front of him. So
yeah.
So Bottas is just, doesn't matter. I mean, Perez, okay, yeah, I can see Perez doing that because, fuck him.
Bottas is still good in qualifying, so he could get pole, and Lewis would give him pole just so he can take out Verstappen in the first corner. It's a possibility. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I don't know because, so Yas Marina is still a circuit, regardless of the changes which have been made, which makes, the circuit a little bit more fluid, in the driving. It's still a circuit where getting pole position is more than half of the job. And then, of course, you got to have a fast car in the straight. So this is what Mercedes is a little bit better at. I still think it's a Red Bull circuit, even with the modifications. I still think it's a circuit where I'm not really sure that Mercedes can heat up the front tires the way they can, which is something that Red Bull, does very, very, very well. And I don't think that the modifications are such as the rear is more important than the front. So which would be an advantage for Mercedes, but so that's why I'm saying that qualifying on Saturday is going to be super interesting, which opens some interesting scenario because this is the only spot where I think that the second driver can really help, and they can help in giving a tow to the drivers. So it's gonna be super important that both the second drivers will get to Q3, and I wouldn't be surprised if if there is something wrong with the car, stuff like that somebody, either Perez or Bottas, might pass Q2 with red tires, forcing them to start with red tires just in order to give a tow. Yeah. In order to give a tow to to the main driver on Q3. I agree. So that might be interesting.
I agree, and also we've got the AlphaTauris, and I'm almost guaranteeing that they will be on red tires to start the race. So my thought is basically they're going to be a pain in the ass, and
because as far as the roster goes right now, the only possible allies from Mercedes, it should be like Aston Martin, but the car is
rubbish.
Doesn't perform the way it performed, at least compared to AlphaTauri. So AlphaTauri can actually give a good advantage, especially with Gasly, because Tsunoda is like a firecracker. We never know if it's gonna explode and when. So so there is that.
Bubble Elvis says, I don't think it would be impossible when I think of Bottas nearly missing Verstappen in the last race, locking up his brakes.
I have to correct you there. It is pronounced Bubbleface.
Yes, thank you, Bubbleface.
Bubbleface.
Bullface.
I mean, he's right. He's
not Bob Elvis.
Even if in the second restart, Bottas almost collided into Lewis, because he locked the brakes too. So, I mean, Bottas is just thinking about next season.
I don't know what he's not even thinking. Let's face it.
Oh
you know what I mean? He's just going, oh God, how much am I getting paid this year? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm gonna miss the paycheck. Oh.
Should we mention that he's still at Mercedes?
But how do you pronounce his name again, Peter?
Bubbleface.
Bubbleface.
Exactly.
Says thank you very much, Peter. So
teaching the British how to speak.
Yeah. I'm going to call him Bob Elvis anyway. You know that.
Yeah.
Just because he's a Max Verstappen supporter.
Just a couple of things that I think we will never talk about it next Monday, and it's a good thing that we made this one. Well, the first one obviously is going to be Kimi Raikkonen's last race and Giovinazzi's last race, and I don't know if you guys saw what they wrote on the cars. So
No.
they wrote on Antonio's car. They wrote, "Thank you for everything, Antonio," which I don't think that
Everything? You mean, thanks for the memories, yeah.
Yeah, which I don't think it was something which was written personally by Vasseur. But the other funny thing is on Kimi's car, I think they wrote something on the line, "We leave you alone now." And of course, it goes back to when he said, "I know what I'm doing, leave me alone." And they just wrote, "We leave you alone now." So yeah.
They should have written something else on Antonio's car. Did you see the lap they did on the last circuit with the Alfa Romeo?
No.
Both did a lap, and at the start, Kimi was asked to reverse, and he couldn't, so he turned the car around. So I think he drove the circuit the wrong way around, and Giovinazzi was sitting next to him, and he was supposed to be like in rally, he was supposed to be the navigator. So turn this, turn that, and he was constantly Kimi brake, 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 brake. They should have written that on his car, Kimi brake, brake. If you haven't seen that, you need to watch that. That was fabulous.
They did something like that in Nürburgring with the new GTA some time ago. The other thing which I wanted to mention is something that we never said in the previous shows.
What, the over 2 hour show? There was something we didn't say.
We forgot something?
Well, actually, we never said that in any of the shows previously, and it's the fact that, and apparently it is now a fact, is that Ferrari, which is going to get third, I mean, the first of the normal people, they have never brought any improvement on the car through all the year. So basically, the development was congealed. There were never, major improvement. There was, never a big step forward. And the reason why is because they wanted to concentrate on, on next car. That was a gamble they took. Which brings me. So the reason why I said that is because, apparently all the results they did was, they just tried to maximize the job inside the team. A good teamwork and all that stuff. And the reason I'm saying that, it's not only because I think it's kind of an exceptional thing in today's F1, is that this, I think, it's one of the points that is going to be an advantage to Max. I mean, the fact that you have a solid team and an experienced team on your back and is something that Max can claim. I don't think that Mercedes is still at that point, regardless of the fact that they've won so many World Championships, because of the reason we've said, many times, that they find when they find themselves in a position where they have to actually, deal with other people, it gets a little bit tricky for them. So I think that might be another advantage that Red Bull has compared to Mercedes in the last race.
That's interesting because I hadn't really considered that. I mean, I would still give this circuit now to Mercedes, considering they've taken the two slowest corners out. And I think that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because, I see why people are kind of saying, well, maybe not. But what I've got from the commentators and the professionals I've listened to is that this swings the circuit towards Mercedes. And it's just a matter of how much it swings it towards Mercedes. and it doesn't have to swing it much towards Mercedes, I would argue. But you're perfectly correct, I think, Fabio, when you say maybe if the Mercedes can't switch its tires on quick enough, right, then that's going to be a problem. But I don't see that being a problem in I don't see that being a problem in the qualifying. It's only a problem in the race and race restarts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much of an advantage that's going to be, even if the two cars are equal.
Yeah, no, but I think we're saying the same thing. I mean, I still think that it's a front limited track, so
Right. Okay.
that would advantage Red Bull,
Hmm.
and I can see how those modifications they have they've changed the balance of the track, and it's really subtle because I don't think that the main problem is taking away too slow corner and making an airpin or stuff like that. It is just the fact that it changes the flow of how you drive in Yas Marina right now.
Right.
The thing which remains to be seen is if those modifications are actually enough to make the front tire work for Mercedes. That's the thing which I think the only proper answer we're gonna have it maybe on Friday or on Saturday. Because another thing is that I don't think that the teams will hide on Friday in free practices. I don't think they're gonna hide too much because eventually they will have to try to push to see where they are at. They might do it with the wrong tires and then extrapolate the data for the correct tires. But I think that we might have some good indications where they are at.
Okay. So I think there's a question here. I haven't read it yet. I'm wondering if Red Bull will use Perez in service of Max or in service of trying to win the constructors' title. Peter, what would you say to that?
If that's going to be the case, I think they're going to go for the Drivers' World Championship at this stage because of the fact that it's so close that it would seem to be unfair if they're going to give Max a disadvantage by using Paris to get the constructors. I don't think that that's what they're going to do, and they definitely have a two-driver system, just like Ferrari. So one driver is important, and yeah,
Yeah.
that
Fabio?
Well, I don't see the two things being, one or the other. I think that by helping Max to win the title, they have to put Perez in a position where they will get points for the constructors too. I think that if they had to make a choice, they would go for the driver's title. And because well, no, not apparently, it seems to me that that is the only title which is worth something, and there is only one team historically that where they have valued the constructors titles more than the driver's title, which is
Several teams. I've got to
well,
say, several teams too.
yeah, okay.
McLaren, Williams,
No, I'm just saying,
and
okay,
Ferrari back in the day, right?
No, I was going to get there. Okay, so let me rephrase that. There is one team historically where the founder explicitly said that to be the constructor title is worth more than the driver's title, and it's Ferrari. And I'm sure that was the same thing with Lotus and Williams, when the owners were actually in charge. That is something which is not true anymore for any team. I think that in Ferrari it might still be the case, just for I wouldn't say historical reasons, but for like pedigree reasons, for. But yeah, I see no team which is willing to exchange a driver's title for a constructor's title. Not at all. So.
Well, I mean, other than Red Bull, of course, who said 3 years ago now. We will make Max a world champion. We will have Max as a world champion.
Yeah.
That's our goal. In fact, they specifically said we don't care about the constructors so much because it's only money, and we've got plenty of that. What we care about is getting Max to be world champion. So I'm pretty sure.
That's what I meant. I don't know. Probably I've been misunderstood. I expressed myself badly, but that's what I meant.
Good, yeah.
They're all going for the
and also
driver's title.
the moment they're going to choose the constructors title over the driver's title in this case, Max is going to be shopping for a different seat.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I'm convinced of it.
No, I don't think so. Because what seat is he going to take?
Well, it's not
nobody wants Max.
Maybe not for next year, but at the year after that, he's going to
that
at
depends
least.
then, doesn't it?
The year after that is game for everybody. I don't think that anybody in his mind, even if there was a free seat in a top team, would want to switch for next year cars because it's
and for
too
Max,
much.
Right?
Yeah,
Especially.
but I'm saying, regardless, I don't think that even if there was a free seat in a top team, be it Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, whatever, nobody is going to change now for next year because it's too much of a gamble with the new rules. Now, if you're telling me, if you tell me the year after that,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I can see there's gonna be a huge movement because of the fact that that the rules is gonna be congealed for so much time. If next year there is a team which apparently has interpreted the rules better than anybody else, has got a small advantage. Now everybody will want to go there, but it remains to be seen if it's a congealed team or whatever. So
yeah. That is what Peter was referring to,
Yeah.
which is not for next year, but the year after.
Yeah, not for 2020,
I
but
would say,
next year he would say that he would be available for other teams if.
but I would say not on the basis that Mercedes have got George, and we know George is very fast, so there's no reason to switch to Max when you've got George, right? No, absolutely no reason as far as I can see. And that's if Lewis goes, right? And that's the only potential change that Max could make because Leclerc is still under contract at Ferrari, of course, but for the next 2 years. So I don't see him going to Ferrari. Red Bull, of course, are going to be a dominant force next year, as we know, because they've got Adrian Newey, and that we're talking about a new interpretation of the rules. So I can't see why. I just can't see him. I can't see Max leaving what it would be his best chance for another world title anyway. And then B, I can't see Ferrari or Mercedes taking on Max because of the problems that Max has with teammates, right? Yeah. So why would you do this? Sorry, yeah, let's just keep up. We have addressed the question as to why does Peter have gigantic penis behind him? Have we? No, we haven't actually, Spooky.
It's what I have noticed walking around the Yas Marina circuit. That thing behind me must be of British origin because it is literally a giant cock and balls.
Yes, I thought it was a Dutch construction. But
No, it must be British. Cock and balls is entirely British.
Can I just tie myself to something that Simon said before? And so I'm going to say here, 2 or 3 years in advance. So, fuck it.
I'm assuming all the teams know who are lined up for next season. Is it public or private info? Is that public or private info? Could you just address that at the same time as you're making this next statement, please, Fabio?
Yeah, so I start from what you said, then, I will tie myself to that one.
Thank you.
If Max wins the title, I think that might be, how can I say, that might open an interesting way for Lewis to go in Ferrari in 23.
Wow.
And the reason why I say that is that Lewis has never been shy to say that. I think it was a very recent interview that he said, he said that he never really understood why he never went there. There was some context and stuff like that. So I think that he would like to go there. I mean, there was just no possible reason for him to go there with the car that he had, in the position that he was. But if Max wins the title this year, and next year Ferrari is not, a dog of a car, I think that might open a really interesting scenario. Just because of the fact that he has, expressed that thought more than once, and in very not so subtle terms. So yeah, going back, to Savage question, it is generally a public info. It is true that most of the times we know how the things goes after a lot of speculation, but at the end of it, when the contract is signed, we know who signed the contract. It is also true that, as Bernie Eccleston said, and many other people before him, contracts in F1, they're just worth nothing, because.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, other than money, they're worth nothing other than money.
Yeah.
But they can always be bought and sold. No, I mean, I think. Would Lewis go to Ferrari unless they had a really decent car? I don't think so. I think Alonso made that mistake, and Lewis laughed at him for it. So I don't think Lewis will make the same mistake. Would he want to go to Ferrari? Absolutely. He definitely wants to be at Ferrari if there's a car he can win a championship with there. But I think he doesn't want to end, shall we say, in a car which isn't quite as competitive as being able to challenge for the championship.
About the fact, the drivers, they laugh at other people for terrible choices, stuff like that. So let's not forget that every driver thinks that they are better than everybody else. So the fact that Lewis, just how do you say about Alonso moving to Ferrari? It just talked him off, or just it just laughed him, going to Ferrari. Yeah. That doesn't mean, so in his mind, Lewis and all the other drivers, they think, oh yeah, he did that, but I'm better than him, so I will show everybody what I can do with that. That is exactly the same. And I know I'm switching sports, but that was exactly the same mindset when Valentino went to Ducati. He said, fuck it, yeah, I'm gonna win that one, and the bike.
Well,
the
again,
bike
different. I think that's different because, like I've been saying to you many times, when Lewis moved to Mercedes, right, he did it in anticipation of knowing he was going to have a bad first year because the rules hadn't changed. And then the second year, he knew that Mercedes had already been developing the engine, right? And so it was going to be the superior engine for sure. And there was no question. So when I say laughed at Alonso moving to Ferrari, no, I don't think he was laughing because it's, you moved to Ferrari. It's because he knew it wasn't Mercedes. And Mercedes were going to have this dominating period. Right?
Yeah,
and I think that's it. I mean, it's nothing to do with the Ferrari in itself. And one of the things I would say just quickly is nobody else could have got Ferrari so close to winning championships with that car than Alonso during that period. I mean, he is an outstanding driver, and he was even more in his prime than he is now when he first moved to Ferrari. So
I mean, of course, what Lewis did just proves me wrong, but I don't think that at the time there were enough info around to figure out that Ferrari wasn't going to be as bad as the car as it showed to be. So I mean, I'm not really sure about that, but yeah. I mean,
no, I don't think that's true. Because, like I'm saying, right? If you weren't in Mercedes,
I know you don't think it's true.
No, he did, but not for that reason, though. Not for that reason. The reason being, if you're not in a Mercedes, then you don't stand a chance. That was it. And you can come up with as good an aero as you like, as Red Bull did, and you can come up with as good an engine as you like. It's not a Mercedes. I mean, remember, Ferrari took 2 years to develop their engine after the rules changed, before they had an equal engine to Mercedes. Right? And even then, once Mercedes moved and split the turbocharger, then they were back to having an advantage again.
So you're telling me that before the championship started, everybody knew that Mercedes was a better car than everybody else without the car being on the track?
Yeah, not
Okay.
only that, the year before that, before they'd even designed the cars.
Okay.
Yeah, because of the engine, just because of the engine. Everybody knew that Mercedes engine that had already been developed for a year before the changes, right? Everybody else, all the other manufacturers, developed during that year, right, up to the change of regulations. Mercedes had developed it the year before that, so they had an extra year, whole year, developing that engine.
No, listen, I'm fine. I mean, I don't recall everybody knowing that, but yeah, I mean, if you say so, I'm fine.
Yeah, I do say so.
Yeah, I have to admit that was what I heard too, and that was why I wasn't that unsure when Lewis announced the change to Mercedes,
Okay.
because they had been talking about that all year long. That Mercedes had started developing that engine, and that it was going to be a good engine.
Listen, I mean, starting to develop an engine before somebody else doesn't automatically say that the engine is going to be better.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
So-
I understand that. I understand.
That's what I'm saying. So you can infer that they have way more time to develop it. So you can infer that because they had more time, it is probably going to be better. But it is still a stretch. You know what I mean? So from there saying that he went there because he was sure that it was better than any other car, which was better of the Mercedes at the time. I don't think it's true, but
Okay.
again,
I don't see why you would leave what is a highly successful team to go to a less highly successful team.
Yeah,
Mercedes, of course, weren't very good.
they
And then
weren't.
spend a year in the wilderness, right?
what options did Lewis set at the time of changing teams?
Well, I mean, he could have stayed at McLaren, number one. That was certainly, he was very welcome at McLaren still, and they were still a very good engine. They still had a very good car. And team behind them.
McLaren was in his downward spiral at the time,
Right.
because of all the shit which happened. So
Well, hang on a second. If you mind talking.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's just something that would never know. I mean, from my point of view, it's something that it is going to be super hard to know for sure. But
Well, so back in that, they had Niki Lauda walking around, so I think that he could make some informed guesses as to where they stand with the engine.
Well, yeah, but I mean, again, Niki Lauda was working for Mercedes. So what you think was going to say to the world that we're doing a car which is shit? I mean,
Yeah,
of
but
course
so
it
say
was going to say-
they brought Nicky in, talking to Lewis to convince him to go to Mercedes, and I don't think as a racer that Lauda would trick Hamilton into going to a team where he wasn't sure that he was going to get a better car than he already had with McLaren.
No, listen, but again, I don't see that, and I don't want to nitpick. I think it's a moot point, but I don't think that if you call a consultant for a company to speak with somebody else in order for that guy to come with you, I don't think that consultant is going to tell, come to us. We don't know if our car is better. Of course, Niki Lauda would have told him, our car is better. It would have been different if you tell me, people in McLaren told him, go to Mercedes because that's better. Okay, that's something. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. I go to Mercedes now. But yeah, I mean, coming from Niki Lauda, which was working at Mercedes, I would not expect nothing less. Of course they're gonna tell him, yeah,
Well,
come
but
here.
consider that while he was a consultant at Mercedes and he was part of the team, he wasn't afraid of criticizing his own team, and he wasn't afraid of telling on air how good others did their job. That was Lauda.
Yeah,
He
of
was he was
yeah,
really
of course it
blunt
is.
when it came to that, and sometimes he got a lot of flack for that, saying, "Well,
Yeah, I mean,
we messed up, and let's say Red Bull or Ferrari did a better job today, and they deserve to win." He was really easy when it comes to that.
yeah, I mean, it's even easier when your car is winning anyway. You can say, yeah, I mean, we did everything which was, good at the time. Yeah, we still won the one championship and the title. But the other guys needed something a little bit better. Because, you know what I mean? When you're in a position of I mean, even Jean Todt, was criticizing Ferrari inside Ferrari and Michael Schumacher winning everything, So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Talking about Jean Todt, have you heard the rumors that
He
he's
could
probably
be.
going to be a consultant for Ferrari next
Yeah,
year?
he could go back to Ferrari. That's what I heard as well. I
Yeah.
I mean
I was reading an article. I haven't finished the article, so I don't know exactly what is the basis of that rumor. But yeah, it might be super interesting.
Excellent. Well, I am back, but let's just catch up with some thingies. So one answer from Emphasis. Mercedes has the momentum, so I think Verstappen will be the underdog in the last race. Is that what you guys were just talking about?
No, we were
no.
talking about we're talking
Good.
about Jean Todt. The
Oh,
rumors that Jean Todt is going to get back to Ferrari. It's
Yeah.
wow. Yeah,
Well,
I always liked Jean Todt. But
I
anyway.
I
I always liked Jean Todt.
It's funny because I always hated Jean Todt, and the reason why is because he was the head of Peugeot in the rallies, and of course, being a big Lancia fan, I always hated the guy with a passion. And then he came to Ferrari and said, "Well, you better do a good job because you are a fucking French," which yeah. Well, no, but he made a really good
Well,
job.
he did do a good job, so there you go.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah! I mean, he's one of the 4 emperors of F1 in recent years.
Yeah,
you know,
very much so.
it's Jean Todt, Briatore, Horner, and Wolf. Those are the last 4 emperors in F1.
Okay. So Mercedes has the momentum, so I think Verstappen will be the underdog in the last race. What do you think, Peter?
that was what and not now. I've got a what do you know? A brain fart. Lewis's teammate.
Okay.
Try.
Which
Bottas.
No.
Perez?
At McLaren. Ah, shit.
Alonso.
No.
Jensen Button.
Button gave an interview, and he said based on the circuit and on the fact that Mercedes has the momentum, and that Lewis is in a good form lately, he's going to pick Lewis for the win. So
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I am kind of 50-50. I think there's as much chance now of Lewis being the dominant car again as Verstappen having a great drive. So I mean that's the two things. If Verstappen doesn't have a great drive, then definitely Lewis. If Lewis just keeps his mind out of the gutter and keeps on track, manages to avoid any problems, then I think it's Lewis. So it's Lewis's to lose in that sense. I think if he gets hit by someone, then obviously I think Verstappen can easily take this. And I would also remember that Vettel in the Red Bull had that terrible Brazil race where he ended up winning the world title despite the fact that he managed to almost throw it away. So I think the great drivers can pull it out, and I have a feeling that's what'll happen. I think we're in for something really, really special. So, but I would say,
Speak,
yeah, Mercedes definitely have the momentum.
speaking
Three race wins in a row.
speaking about Vettel, did you see the interview that Vettel gave, where they asked him who he would want to win, not who he would think would win, but who he would want to win? Did you catch that?
No.
He said he would want Verstappen to win it because he doesn't want the 7 times world champion record being beaten, and Michael is still his big idol. And
Yep.
in that interview, he said, I think at least 4 times, he doesn't want him to win because he wants that record to stand, and Lewis not be able to beat it.
That is a very general feeling in the F1 roster right now. That is something which is quite widespread. I just want to say one thing. Even if I still think that Verstappen is favorite because of the reasons that we said before. There is one thing which goes to the advantage of Lewis, and is the fact that he has already found himself in that position, of the title at the very last race, and it has happened to him at least 5 times. With and not always it went good for him. He lost in 2007, he lost in 2010. Even 2010 wasn't that close, and he lost in 2016. So it is true that he has already found himself in that position. So he might have a little bit more experience of that kind of pressure. So that might something which goes in his favor.
Yeah, if he can keep his mind out of the gutter, he needs to keep a real clear head and not let any of the psychological stuff affect him, as he did in 2016, I have to say. And he did in 2007 in his rookie year, right? That was a psychological thing that went wrong with him at some point. So he is not immune to it. Right? The pressure is immense at this Formula One World Championship level. And to think that... Sorry, just let me finish this. Just think that Verstappen the kind of pressure Verstappen must be under right now is immense. It's really intense. It's his first championship. He's been trying to grab this championship with this full support of with Red Bull for a number of years now, and hasn't come very close at all. So this is it. This is such a large amount of pressure. That's why I think what happened last race, and why it was very obvious that it was happening last race, because he didn't make that mistake at Brazil, but the pressure is much higher again now. And if it was higher at Qatar and Saudi, then it's again much higher again here at Abu Dhabi. So I think we're in for a hell of a race.
We all know what Max Verstappen has to do to put some pressure on Lewis. He just has to set up and organize the biggest grills he can manage with all the money he can put in, and make grills all over the circuit. The circuit has got to be smoking with grilled meat. That will put pressure on Lewis. No, but all jokes aside, the only thing I am hoping is that we will not see a fucked up race like the last one.
Yeah, please. Although again, I reviewed the season overtakes of Verstappen on Hamilton in this last week, and there's one thing I did notice. And that's every single time Lewis tried to go around the outside, Max drove him off the track. Every single time. There are no exceptions in this season. And it was even worse in the last race, because when the situation was reversed and Verstappen was on the outside, of course, then Verstappen tried to come on the track in such a way as to take Lewis out. Right, so
Yeah, but I mean, again, it all boils down to the fact because I mean, you might be right, but even if in the last one, where Ocon was there, Verstappen was ahead of Lewis. So it all comes back, to that, fucked up thing.
Yeah.
That if you're inside, you do whatever the fuck you want, So.
No, he wasn't ahead. I mean, not
Oh
going.
yeah. I mean,
not going into the corner. He was only ahead after the braking phase.
Yeah, he was ahead the moment he went off the track. That's when he was.
No. He outbraked Lewis and he was inside, and he was ahead at the time. So.
No. We're talking about the second incident here.
Yeah, the second one where he went outside.
No.
Yeah, he did go outside the track.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the restart. The second restart with Ocon.
The second restart with Ocon in first place, and then Lewis.
Right.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. That was where he dived down the inside of Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in that case, he pushed Lewis wide. Okay, and obviously Ocon was there, so they had a touch.
Right. Because
Lewis
was protecting, against Ocon for fuck me reasons. But again, it's the same thing. He's inside, he's ahead. Yeah,
against the rules, still against the rules this year, but still there you go.
Well, I mean, it was. I mean, it used to be against the rule up until Brazil, and then they said, he's inside, he's ahead, do the fuck you want.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
right.
it's
Fabio, he lost that bet with Bottas with you. He's going to bring this up every single show we're going to do now.
Yeah.
There is no chance I will not bring this up. And I tell you, and if Lewis loses it because of a crash, you can guarantee every single time next season you mention Verstappen, I will say something derogatory about him.
Yeah.
Okay, just to point that out. Okay, so we've got a couple of questions here, right?
Yeah, I saw
Firstly,
one interesting one.
Gio saying, before you get there, Gio saying, I hope Verstappen and Hamilton don't take each other out. That is, of course, the big question. Thank you. Yes, that would be disappointing. What would be unfortunate indeed, yes. What would be the most ludicrous, over-the-top way for Verstappen to win the race?
I got that one. That is if Mercedes has screwed up in strategy a couple of times, the most ludicrous thing would be that they screw up the engine so high that it blows mid-race. And I do see that as a possibility because they definitely want Lewis to win.
Okay. Fabio, you go next.
I mean, the most, the ludicrous, the most ridiculous way would be Bottas crashing into Lewis. That would be, of course.
Yeah, that's true. But over the top of Verstappen, I'm assuming that in this question there is some Red Bull participation, not just an own goal, so to speak. But I would say Perez on Lewis lapping Perez, and Perez takes him out. That would be the most ludicrous way for Verstappen to win.
Actually, there might be another way, which I think is going to be. It might be even worse. It would be if in Mercedes they fuck something up in the pit lane, change the tires.
I know an even better one.
That would be even worse. It happened with Bottas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something which cannot happen.
But he said ludicrous.
Before you go, Peter, Verkrashen will do what Senna did to Prost. That's from Lucky Wolf.
He said the most ludicrous thing, over the top thing. That would be if Alonso takes him out.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Alonso wants Verstappen to beat Lewis. He has said that multiple times during the season. So.
I mean, he also said in the last interview. He just made an interview today, and he's rooting for Verstappen, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Gio says here, if they race like champions they are, should be a fabulous event. Yeah. We're all really looking forward to it. I mean, it's going to be nerve-wracking. I'll be on the edge of my seat, that's for sure. And there's no reason other than there's no contrition from Max whatsoever. So I don't think it's going to be any different to the races we've had previous.
No.
And basically all of the races previous have been disappointing because there has been contact and slightly dodgy driving. So, it's up to, that's what I'm saying. It's up to Lewis to keep his head and keep out of Verstappen's way and beat him just on pure pace. That's the only way I think Lewis is going to win. But there you go. So there's that.
That also could be a ludicrous thing, is that if the stewards are now going to assess every single thing that is happening on track, then we're going to get a shitstorm that's going to last for a couple of months as well.
More than months, mate.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Verstappen will use every advantage the judges will allow. I completely agree. And I think he's fully within his rights to use everything that the judges allow.
Yeah.
I just hope he doesn't go beyond that mark, because I don't want to see Verstappen world champion where he's had to do it in such a way that people are just going to criticize it like they did Schumacher. Right? That he doesn't deserve that, because the kid's too talented.
Yeah.
The kid is just too fast a driver to start driving people off the road to win championships. Otherwise, he'll just sully his reputation at the first go. And unlike Schumacher, who had several championships before he started doing that.
And that's why I never was a fan of Schumacher.
He only had, actually, he only had one. But at least he had the one before he started driving into Damon Hill. But, look what it's done.
Salty about that plug.
I fucking am. I really am. And I tell you why.
No, we don't care.
Yeah,
the advantage thing. I mean, of course, is going to do that. But it is also true that everybody will do that. I mean, every driver will use every advantage that the judges will allow it. So
yeah. Okay, Gio says, if the race is a fabulous event, are the points equal for Verstappen and Hamilton? Yes, they are equal. Verstappen has one more win than Lewis, and therefore, if they end equal at the end of Sunday's race, then Verstappen would be world champion. So, in other words, Lewis has to beat him on track in the top 10 at least.
Yeah.
And probably get fastest lap as well, but that's another thing. So, thank you very much, Gio. Verstappen has more wins. Yep, everybody is all in. Yeah. Basically, Gio, yeah, everybody is all in. Mercedes engine failure, Red Bull wins. Okay, I think we know where Gio Sam's lies there. Another one from Savage. Obligatory fucking Bottas.
Of course.
This is what I love, Savage. She's brilliant because she really notices
she remembers.
Memes. She notices the memes that we have.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
She will enjoy the race intro for Monday.
Yeah, indeed, yes.
Yeah, you don't know that. You don't know that. I do.
Well, I'm sure I'll enjoy it as well. Verstappen will crash, causing a safety car, and then Lewis gets hit by the safety car, putting him out. That is the most ludicrous suggestion we've had yet. That is for sure.
Yeah.
And then I think the most ludicrous way for Verstappen to win is Max to let Hamilton pass, and Lewis repeating the same as the last race, but losing his front ring. Brake testing Lewis. Yeah, that might be the only way. Who knows? Thank you. Here they are. Okay, great.
Yeah.
How much are we up to? We're up to about an hour, guys. Is there anything else in the chat? Any other questions before we go? Let's just set that up. Predictions, of course, please, Peter.
So my choice is Lewis. So I'm going to just hope Lewis wins. I want someone to beat that record, because I wasn't a fan of Schumacher, and I want that record beaten. Just
the salt is tasty. That's all.
I mean,
all we can say.
yeah.
If you have anything with salt, it's tastier. So that's
And if people are going to complain, Simos, we can always say we blame that on the war. It's the Germans are the underdogs, so we blame it on the war.
Yeah. Don't mention the war.
Don't mention.
Okay. Go on, Fabio. What
Blame,
predictions for you?
the blame is on the war, and you want a German car to win.
No. We want the German record beaten.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Schumacher's record.
Yeah, Mercedes.
No, I get that.
It's a German brand, but no. The factory's in Brackley.
Yeah, of course. This
it's
is
a
what
British
Simos
car.
says. Yeah, okay. This is what Simos says every time that Mercedes wins, and when they fuck it up, it's those fucking Germans. So, guys, come on, really.
Of course. Okay, we have. So before my prediction, let's just. Savage has made a prediction, which I think is probably going to be pretty accurate. I predict Verstappen championship via both of him and Hamilton DNFing in the actual race. I think there is at least a 30 to 40% chance that will be the case myself. So I hope it isn't that way. But nonetheless,
then we have to wait and see whether or not they're going to go through with deducting points.
Sure, if assuming that there's some dodgy driving, I don't think they will. Regardless of what happens, when the race finishes, we will know who's won the championship, and I don't think the FIA have got the balls to overturn it on a refereeing decision. Basically, so there you go. Savage Minnow and Pierre Gasly winning the race. Wow, that is some prediction, and that's great. Welcome, Robert X. Peter sure love those Germans. Cars, that is. Yeah, he's a bit of an America-phile, isn't he? So, there you go. But my prediction is, of course, Lewis to win because he will have a dominant car. And he'll do it on strategy. And Mercedes will deliberately take a different strategy to keep away from Verstappen. So that's my little prediction there.
Yeah, mine instead is, I still think that Max has more and better scenarios for him to win. So I think he's going to win. And actually, there is something I want to address about what Savage said before, when he was predicting Verstappen and both him and Hamilton basically putting up a DNF. So there has been a lot of talks about, those two taking away each other's, based on previous races. And of course, it is something which is possible. Nobody would be super surprised about that. There is one thing that we got to remember. Even, if you take, for example, last race, Max did some, they both did, but Max did some really extreme maneuvers to stay in front of Lewis because of the track. Because he knew that in most of the track, the Mercedes was faster, so he had to go really extreme, in order for him to stay ahead of Lewis. That is, it is not a given that this is going to be the same situation, meaning that even if Mercedes is slightly better than Red Bull in this, in this track, if Max manages to stay ahead in pole position or stuff like that, it is not so sure that the Mercedes is going to be so much better that in order for Max to keep Lewis behind, he's got to be that extreme. So what I'm saying is that the buffer zone, at least on paper, judging from, historically how the track is gone, is still a little bit, it was a Red Bull track. Now it's maybe still a Red Bull track. I don't think it's going to be a Mercedes track all of a sudden. If all the things go, there might be an even track. So the buffer that Max has, for his maneuvers to keep him behind, is not going to be as extreme. So in order for a DNF, there might be something a little bit more that Lewis does, which goes against him. So you see where I'm going, right?
I would agree. I would say yes, but of course we've got two DRSs. This and two DRSs, and this circuit is, although they've modified, I mean, this is quite interesting. They've modified the entry to the beginning of the two DRSs, and they've modified the exit to the two DRSs. So I think that could end up being significant, especially the fact that they've increased the speed of the exit to the two DRSs. I think that is significant, and that's, if there is a crash, that's where it'll happen.
Yeah, and this was the thing
I
that.
just want to say, no, before you go, I've got to say, Bublevis predicts that the second drivers will play a big part in the race, and that's perfectly true. I would tend to agree with that. So go ahead then.
Yeah, here's the thing, and this is also mentioned all week. Mercedes has a problem with acceleration, and they've modified the circuit so that is less important. Coming out of the corners, the Red Bulls are faster, and so that could be an issue as well. That also plays a part in. And Button was one of the people who mentioned that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. This is why I'm saying it's leaning to a Mercedes track now, very, very slightly. And with these two DRSs, I have a feeling that cements it to me to be a Mercedes track, because Mercedes have the advantage in top speed as well. So
at least
I'm guessing that'll be the case.
At least we're not going to get what we had for a couple of years. No, I don't think anyone's going to fall asleep as long as both Lewis and Verstappen are still in the race.
Yeah, that's true. Kimi's last race, of course. Can we just mention Kimi's last race? Because Kimi's been around since, what, 2000, somewhere around then? I don't know. It's not 2000. It's more like 2004 or something. But
2000, 3 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was early 2000 somewhere.
Yeah. So I mean, a fantastic career. He obviously took over from Mika Hakkinen as our favourite Finn, and he will be sorely missed. I mean, that's. I mean, again, I've just got to say this.
We're going to miss the riveting interviews. That's what we're going to miss.
Well, that's exactly what I'm going to mention, which is Martin Brundle going up to Kimi Räikkönen and saying, "Oh, this is where you are. You've missed Pele. Pele was out there. You've missed Pele. What were you doing?" And Kimi turned around and goes, "I was having a shit."
Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
It was asked today. Today was asked what did he expect for Sunday? What he was waiting for Sunday? And he said, "Well, I'm waiting this to be over."
Yeah. A pragmatic man to the last.
Yeah.
We will certainly miss him. Bubler says as well. We will miss him. Kimi next year. That is for sure. I think he's been a firm favourite on just about every fan's list.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
Good luck to Kimi. I hope he doesn't give up racing. I hope he does race some more, even if it is only Le Mans and whatever else.
He said today he's going to take at least a year off or so, because the people at home were asking him over and over again, when are you going to come home? And he's got a point. I mean, with the amount of races that we have now, he's not going to be home much.
Well, you can't keep on getting that drunk either. I mean,
no,
you just can't keep doing it when you get to middle age, Right. So
the concession stands will miss him as well, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
You should for Monday, Peter. You should try to find there is a famous photo of him. I think it was in Ibiza. I think on an inflatable dolphin. Just it's pretty famous. I think we should try to find it. Just to say a big hurrah to the guy. I mean. If you look at it on Google, I mean, if I find it, I'll send it to you. But if you look at it on Google, you will instantly recognize what the fuck I'm talking about, because it was absolutely trash. And that was one phone call from Ron Dennis talking, with the guy which prepares Kimi, follows Kimi. They said, "What the fuck is Kimi? We can't find him anymore." And they found him. It was trash on this inflatable dolphin. Yeah. So
That and
so
so you
yeah.
have to say that that is the end of an era. I mean, we had Hunt famously as the playboy in the paddock, who was partying all the time. I don't think the moment Kimi goes, there's not going to be a driver who's going to be similar to that. Well, maybe Mazepin roughing up some
Ri- I mean,
security
Ricciardo
guy in a
is not
bar,
that
but
far off.
who?
Ricciardo is not that far off, Kimi. So yeah.
But yeah, but he's not that public about it, I think.
Well, only because Kimmy doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. I
You know.
mean,
neither did Hunt.
Yeah, no idea. I mean, he will be sorely missed. That's all we
Yeah,
can say.
yeah.
Um, Too many classics as well. There's a Dutch. Yeah, this is Dutch. Don't know what that means, Elvis. But nonetheless, Kimi will relaunch his bid for WRC glory. I hope so. I hope so. He's certainly talented enough. Um, yeah, and if Alonso can get that kind of backing from, but again, Alonso, you know what I mean. He is an outstanding driver as well,
yeah,
and whereas Kimi is less dedicated, and that's one of the reasons why Alonso does so well in the other categories.
yeah.
So, but nonetheless, just all the best to him. As I say, he will be sorely missed, and end of an era. You're absolutely right. And I hope we get some new talent coming through. But they all seem so what's the word I'm looking for? They're so
Pussies.
tutored. They're just tutored before they even get to Formula One. They're selected to be good boys or pussies, as
Yeah,
you're calling them.
yeah.
Um, I have a feeling once George gets his feet under the table, he's going to be a little more outspoken. And once that happens, then Albon, of course, will be back next year as well. And Albon can say some stuff like he doesn't care. So hopefully that'll be okay. I'm actually really looking forward to next year as well. So as far as I can see from here on out, Formula One is just going to be super, super exciting. And let's just hope that it doesn't all start with a tragic race tomorrow, and that they
Yeah.
keep their noses out of trouble,
Hmm.
and we get a fantastic race and an excellent end. Whoever wins it.
Yeah, but we have to keep in mind if the race is shit on Sunday, the next race after that is going to be back in Saudi Arabia.
Is it? They start next year, do they?
Yeah.
Okay, just to
So,
clarify that for people, because you left
mhm.
that little tidbit of information out.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
we
yeah,
want to be a little bit educational, so people should think: is there
yeah,
another
and that's
race?
fine.
No.
No, there isn't another race. This is the last race, as it says in the title of this hangout. Peter's just being obscurist for the sake of it. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, everybody. Or we just have to wait with bated breath to see what happens on Sunday,
Yeah.
and go from there. I will be, of
Yep.
course, watching the all of the practice sessions, and I think we'll have a good idea as to which car is likely to go for it. Um,
Can I say one more thing? I love the interaction with the side chat, so that's getting more and
Good.
more, and that's what I really like. People getting engaged and wanting to contribute. That's how it should be.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, thank you so much, guys. Thank you very much for coming in with the questions, etc. We really appreciate that. And I think that's time. Anything you'd like to add, Fabio, before we go?
Nope, I'm super fine. Let's see what kind of race we have and follow the qualifying too, because they're gonna be big part of the race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, so that's great. If there's nothing else to say, let's play the outro. And as I say, thank you, everybody. We shall see you all 8 o'clock on Monday
On Monday.
for the race review and season review. We're trying to organise one for January for a season review as well. So that's another little bonus to add for. Thank you so much for saying that. Savage, thank you very much for the bonus stream, she says. And thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. Thank you for the likes, everybody. And we'll see you all on Monday. So, ciao.
Bye
Ciao,
bye.
ciao.